An icon reborn. A new season begins. Drivers must face off wheel to wheel with only one goal: to be crowned champion. Experience the competition and the glory days of early 80s IndyCar action. Hear the song of 500 horsepower Cosworth engines. Watch as drivers wrestle these ground effects cars into submission. Without electronic driver aids, it creates the perfect combination of man, machine, and speed. The Lionheart Retro Series, presented by HPP Simulation, starts now.
After 200 miles at Michigan's D-shaped oval that saw Michael Goodman pick up his first series win on his 15th attempt, today, under a cloud-spotted Buckeye sky, on tap is a classic car on a classic American venue. Presented by HPP Simulations and sanctioned by the Lionheart Racing League, it is the PSP Insurance 125 from the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And all the Round 10 retro Lotus 79 action from Green Flag to Victory Donuts can be seen live as it happens here on the Global SimRacing Channel. From the home state of the only two-time Heisman Trophy winner, welcome to the Global SimRacing Channel and the Countdown to Green, presented by the Sim Pit. GSRC will bring you all the action, but first, as cyberspace flows into your place, over these 15 Streamy award-worthy minutes, we'll bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate the PSP Insurance 125 that will immediately follow as we count down to green. And here to do all of that is yours truly, Bill Soups On. Butch and Sundance ride again, because this afternoon, joining me way up in the press box to bring you our Bird's Eye View, filling in for Adam Young, is my longtime Lionheart stablemate, Sean Crackers Ambrose. The doctor of pit topology, Amjad Yaman, is our director, armed with cameras located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. Now, we mentioned Michael Goodman taking his maiden Retro Series win earlier, but the big story was the derailment of the freight train that is Alex Saunders. The Nighthawk Motorsport star got involved in a mess that included Dan Guerin, Woody Mahan, and Jason Galvin, and the hotshot rookie was forced to swallow a 21st place finish. We'll talk more about how the Michigan race affected the point standings a bit later. But for now, let's talk about what literally lays immediately ahead of these drivers. Now, before I do that, though, I have to talk about one of our sponsors, and that, of course, is the Sim Pit. They're an entertainment channel dedicated to sim racing. Its mission is to bring you news, reviews, and information from around the world about sim race hardware and software. It also focuses on what it takes to be a better sim racer with instructional how-tos and videos that will help your performance on the virtual track. Check it out at thesimpit.com. And speaking of virtual tracks, let's go ahead and talk about the track today. It is Mid-Ohio racetrack. It is full of corners. There are 10 of them. We are racing on what is unusual. We have the chicane version here. It is what the old kart series used to race on. That makes that keyhole section even a little more keyholier, as it almost seems like it's 360 degrees around. This place always puts on a good show, but to get a better idea of what this track is like, let's jump on board the Lotus 79 and take a lap around.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman of the GSRC Lotus 79, so let's do a lap around Mid-Ohio. Coming down to turn 1, this is going to be a very quick corner, which means when it goes wrong here, it will go wrong in a hurry. Try to carry your speed off the exit, because as we climb uphill, we head towards a good overtaking spot, the keyhole. This 180-degree bend can be tough because there's a little rise in the middle of it. Like most hairpins, it's best to square off the exit, and especially here, it'll be important to keep yourself safe from an attack. Now you hit the back straight, which is the longest acceleration zone of the whole track. Straighten out the kink, drift back to the left, and then line up your braking for China Beach. If someone defends to the inside, don't worry, because if you can hold on around the outside, sometimes it's possible to finish the pass on the entry into Madness where the track switches back. From here, the circuit gets slow and technical, so throttle control will be an important skill. You can see through the S's you're tiptoeing over the hill. Turn 9 in particular really requires you to keep the car planted since you're turning and braking at the same time. Try to straighten the track out on the entry to Thunder Valley to allow you an easier time getting to the power. Then you're quickly into turn 11. This blind turn isn't easy even in the high downforce Lotus, causing lots of understeer. Shortly after, you're braking for the carousel, which is probably best if you swing wide to help late apex it. Ease back onto the power through the final left-hand kink, and if you kept it together, you've now finished a lap around Mid-Ohio.
Pull back the curtain here at GSRC, and Amjad Yaman is a member of CHA, Chicane Haters Anonymous. Hello, I'm Amjad Yaman, and I hate chicanes, and as you can see, he left it out there. We're working on him, though, and soon maybe he'll be able to put some chicanes in the next one. Let's go ahead and take a look at the point standings now. The Retro Series Driver Championship is presented by HPP Simulations. We're going to show you the raw totals, but talk about the net totals that take into account 2 drop races allowed for in the rules. Adam Blocker leads in both raw and net points, but the dropped race interval to Alex Saunders is only 32 points compared to the 78 you see on screen now. The top 7 drivers remain in order on both charts, be it raw or net points. The big winner in the net point standings is Jason Galvin, who finds himself in 8th compared to 13th that you see on screen. Chris Lanini, on the other hand, not a fan of drop races, as he swaps position with Galvin. Instead of an 8th, he is in 13th. Let's go ahead and talk about the team championships now, and of course, that is brought to you by one of our great sponsors, Clipping That Apex. 8 Ball Motorsports won the day at Michigan thanks to Michael Goodman's first place. Ron Hacker came in 11th, and Mark Amick had 13th place points. Raven was only 7 points back. Jason Galvin 5th, Dustin Wardlow in 10th, and our own GSRC Samuel Ryman had a great run in 12th. Adrenaline was 3rd on the day, and all the teams hold station for the 2nd week in a row. Now, fans of GSRC might be a bit surprised when Crackers talks about the rookie standings. A lot of the familiar names there to GSRC broadcasts, just new to this series, right, Crackers?
Yeah, Soup, and there's the rookie standings presented by Butt Kicker. In first, you see Alex Saunders there at the top. Brian Yazik. Yazik's a rookie. Second, James Krahola. Jimmy Krahola, he hasn't been a rookie at anything in a long time. Yep. Third, Justin Bob and Weaver there in 4th. Coming up to 4th, getting past Johnson there in 5th. That's your top 5. You look all the way back to 16th, and there's Paulson sitting there in 16th. Morgan coming up 5 spots to 15th, and he is our biggest mover in the Rookie of the Year standing, Soup.
Yeah, Aaron Morgan was late to the show, but he has been putting on quite a performance once he gets going. Look for him to climb up that ladder as the series goes along. Okay, now you know that there are some race details here, but before I talk about that, Lionheart sanctions both this Retro Series and the Big Sister IndyCar Series. Both campaigns honor the memory of the original Lionheart, Dan Weldon. So with that in mind, let's bring Crackers back in again to talk about this series details.
Well, and remember, these series details come to us thanks to the Sim Pit. That's right, the Sim Pit Season 2. And we are halfway past Season 2. We've hit the halfway pole, round 10 of 18. 2 drop races in this series. That's what those little water droplets are. This is the beautiful former Formula One car driven by the very same Mario Andretti, the Lotus 79. This is a fixed setup that has been fixed by the league. This is not the iRacing official setup. This is the Lionheart Retro Series setup that, well, their engineers have worked on and carefully tuned for this Mid-Ohio course this evening. Soup, cash, and prizes this season totaling $4,391 in the Retro Series. Not even in the IndyCar Series. This is in the Retro. They've got almost $5,000 up for grabs in what is their junior sister series, really. Just amazing, the money that's being thrown around here. And, boy, what a race this is going to be tonight for Mid-Ohio. One of my favorite tracks when we talk about road courses, absolutely.
You know, Sean, I talked about it last night in the IndyCar Series, but when iRacing gets day-to-night transitions figured out, this type of sky is going to make for some inspirational sunsets. But for a less rhapsodic, more practical interpretation of the weather, here's Crackers.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's a partly cloudy day. It's 82 degrees outside. Look at that track temperature. It's 108 degrees. It's really, really slick out there. Now, what's great about that? Well, you've got a car with really, really, really big, fat back tires on it. You're gonna have grip, but that grip is gonna go away as the tires go away. That run down into China Beach, Soup, it's gonna get really, really sketchy. And what we believe and what we're pretty sure of is going to be just a one-stop race tonight.
Yeah, what they did was originally they had it set for 56 laps, which is going to be interesting because we figured the pit window out about 28. So it was either going to be a one-stop race or a one-stop and a splash and go. But they shortened it down to 53. So we are definitely one stop today. Practice is over. Qualifying going on right now. We're looking at James Krahula. He's currently sits 9th. Sean, this is the kind of place where you want to have a good qualifying run. You don't want to have to work too hard to get up to the front.
I want to start at the front. Yeah, I don't want to find myself fighting for mid-pack not China Beach, but Mid-Ohio. Not the track that you want to fight back from. There's some really, really technical sections. They're going to slow this Lotus 79 down, especially when you get out of the chute in the back part of the course and down in the carousel, which basically is like a almost 360 degree turn down there. Again, the car gets really slow. That trip through turn 13 as you're getting back to the power to the start-finish line. First of all, the start-finish line is not very far up the track. It's pretty much right out of 13. you've got to get back to the power on this machine. Very, very high horsepowered car. And you've got to hope it sticks, because if it doesn't, it's going around and you'll fall short of the victory in this race. Soup, this is going to be a fun one tonight here in the Lionheart Retro Series. I've had this one circled on my calendar for a couple weeks, actually.
You talked about the carousel feeling like it's 360 degrees. Of course, that's one of the final corners before you get to the start-finish line. But what about the keyhole? When they throw in that chicane, it makes that thing even more of a loop all the way around. It seems like it really is almost 360 degrees around when you come out of the chicane.
Yeah, Soup, it does. But you know what? This track has one great opportunity in this Lotus 79 for passing, and all that action is going to happen out of the keyhole. If you could plant your car in the keyhole, if you could do it just right, and get back to the power quicker than your opponents, you're going to have a beautiful run down through the speed trap and all the way into China Beach. And then that's where it gets all crazy.
You know, I can hear from the sound. I don't hear anybody out there. I think qualifying is over, which means it's just about time for these guys to go racing. And when it is time to go sim racing, nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulations. Designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment, HPP hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit www.hppsimulation.com. And my goodness, they got some good stuff over there. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and look at our HPP starting grid. Sean, Alex Saunders, we got the rookie, but he's flanked by a veteran that we all know, Jake Wright, outside of row 1.
Okay. And row 2 going to be Adam Blocker and Justin Weaver in the Moby Dickey's Lotus 79.
Michael Goodman and Dandy Dan Guerin go 5th and 6th.
All right, row 4, Dustin Wardlow, the Candyman, and Travis Yegeliner will start 8th.
Andrew Havakech Kinsella in 9th. He's going to be inside of David Altman.
All right, and then we go down to row 6, James Skrula and James Brandt will start 12th.
In the Baker's Dozen spot, it's Jason Galvin. In 14th, Brian Yazzie.
All right, row 8, Brian Beard and Sam Ryman.
The newcomer, Aaron Morgan, he's way back in 17th. Watch him work his way through the field. He's in front of the veteran, George Anzalda.
All right, and then it's row 10. Ron Hacker will start 19th tonight. Scott Johnson going to start 20th.
Heading blackjack, it's Bart Workman in the double duck position. Bob Micah's in the Von Hansen's meat machine.
All right, and after Bob there, we've got Greg West on the inside of row 12 and Vern Hawkins the third, starting 24th tonight.
Quarter century position goes to Vincent Bluthenthal. 26th spot, Robert Bluen. Frank Beezer back there in 27. 27 names on the entry list, 26 put in qualifying times. Beezer did not. We have time now to look at our onboard cameras. First one we're going to take a look at. Oh, we're good. It's going to be Scott Johnson in the PSP Insurance Service onboard camera machine. You can see there as we're waiting for everyone to get on track. Of course,
Michael
PSP
Goodman
is the sponsor of today's race.
Yes, the PSP Insurance 125. I believe Michael Goodman's going to be one of our other onboard cameras. He's in the butt kicker onboard camera. We'll get to that during the race.
You can see them all taking their spots on the grid. It was a little worried here early on as it was they were slow to get into the session. I thought we were going to only have maybe a dozen or so drivers, but we had a pretty good field filling up. You can see the above shot, everyone finding their spot on the grid. And there's Michael Goodman in the butt kicker onboard camera. Hopefully, Michael won't have to take advantage of the butt kicker today.
Soup, you know what butt kicker has?
Haptic immersion?
Haptic immersion, exactly. Haptic immersion. I think you said we're going to name a band. We're going to try and, well, we better check that out with butt kicker first.
I saw haptic immersion open for Robert Palmer in the 80s at the Greek Theater. I'm almost positive about it.
Okay. I'm gonna roll with you on that.
One more onboard camera. That's the number 76 car of Marty Davis. Is Marty here today? Oh, I guess not. So
pace car is
Turf
away.
Monkey does not get any love. Pace car is away. Gather at the chicken steak, cover behind the cows. The horses are out of the barn. And it's the rookie, Alex Saunders. Will he go wire to wire? Well, many-time champion Jake Wright says no way. He's in second. Adam Blocker, Weaver in third, Goodman in fifth.
Kinsella, the big mover there early. Soup, he picks up a spot. Boy, he's got Wardlow and Guerin battling just in front of him. Kinsella in a familiar-looking paint scheme on that car. We even know a commentator might have ran that at one time.
They spread out nicely. Kinsella, of course, in the Budweiser. Boy, they are really bunched up, though, back there in seven. Look at them. They come through.
Oh, we got a car off. One car off. It's Travis Jagerliner. Got caught out there a little bit into the grass. James Crowell going to come on by. He's got to be careful here. Here's James Grant right behind him.
Well, it's not the most dramatic of offs for Jagerliner. He was able to gather it up. He just lost a couple of positions. Look at him coming at you. So far, though, other than Jagerliner's little trip through the mid-Ohio alfalfa, it's been pretty darn clean. The leaders now on their way to complete the first lap. Let's go ahead and give you the order of the top five one more time. Saunders, Wright, Blocker, Weaver, and Goodman.
Soup, we've been solicited to commentate a wedding. I'm definitely on board with that.
Okay. I don't know what that means, but I'm up for it.
Well, in the YouTube chat, we've been, what is it, Toiler, okay, well, Toiler. Anyway, Toiler has asked if we commentate their wedding. So, yes, we're available.
I'll keep that in mind. I'll work on my catchphrases. Look at this battle for 8th position back here. This is Andrew Kinsella in the Budweiser machine. Sean talked about that. David Altman right behind him. But I think Kinsella might be the cork of the bottle. Galvin, Yasik, Krahula, all behind him.
Yeah, I hope, I hope that Mountain Dew doesn't get into the Budweiser there. We could have a problem. As Altman continues to press in his machine. There's Galvin just behind and Brian Yasik battling. What'd you see, Sue?
Dustin Wardlow, Guerin just made a mistake, and let's move Wardlow, the Candyman, up into 6th position. We're going to take a look at this one, and Galvin just had a bad exit, and he was a sitting duck to the Candyman. You can see him off in the grass, lost all of his momentum. Boy, you just can't make a mistake. Your passing is so rough, you just can't give them away.
Now, Galvin definitely hoping for a little bit better fortune this evening than he had in the Lionheart IndyCar Series last night.
Yeah, Galvin racing back there in 10th. He's in that pinata full of bees that starts really with Kinsella. That's 8th position. Kinsella, Altman, Galvin. Yasik is in that mix too. The yellow car of James Krahula.
Oh boy!
Oh my!
Galvin really had to check up there. He almost ran over David Altman, and he got on the binders hard. Lucky that car didn't just turn around on him there. Of course, that caused a chain reaction. Poor Yasik had to check up too, and so did James Krahula. Funny to find all these great drivers on track together right now, and well, that could be a good thing, or it could be a bad thing when they go to make a pass on each other soon.
As is often the case, the action is back here. You can see Krahula getting close there.
I think Yasik's getting a little impatient with Galvin. I'm going to be honest with you. I think he wants to get around Jason. Look for maybe a move here out of the keyhole.
Riding on board with Yasik right now. Just inside of the right wheel suspension.
You know, I've never called a race with this bus stop configuration that they're using.
Nor have I.
This evening. Yeah. Interesting. It definitely changes the complexion of the run down to the keyhole for sure.
It absolutely changes the complexion of this track. Just that little chicane does it. Reminds me a little bit of Watkins Glen when they put in the inner loop down there. Kind of had that same feel.
Yasik wasn't able to get any of a run, but now we go back to 17th here, and that's Aaron Morgan on board with Scott Johnson, trying to chase him down here in the PSP Insurance Services onboard camera.
They're one of our sponsors today. We're going to tell you a little bit about PSP a little bit later. There's some good folks there doing some good stuff. Johnson racing back there. Aaron Morgan in 17th. I told you to watch out for him. He hasn't been able to make up any ground yet, but it's a nice little battle. Samuel Ryman sits in 15th. Beard, Morgan, Johnson, and Zaldo, and Bob Mikas.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sam Ryman, another driver that's picked up a spot. He does sit in 15th, like you said. He's got several cars in front of him, though, locked up, really fighting hard for position. And it starts with James Brandt back there trying to run down Travis Jaegerleiner. A bit of a gaggle of cars back here as well, Sue.
Yeah, they're going to be careful here. They're going to have to run the credit cards of the front four drivers for minibar incidentals because they are checking out. Saunders, Wright, Blocker, and Weaver are trying to leave the rest of the field behind. Weaver maybe not able to stay with the front three.
It sure looks tough for him right now. The Moby Dickie's Lotus 79 just doesn't seem to have that snap to it that the three cars in front of him have got. He really needs to be careful because Goodman, who we know is a solid contender every time he gets on a track, is right behind him, and Goodman is closing.
Another one of our sponsors, Michael Goodman in the butt kicker machine. You can see that he's got some open track ahead of him. He's got some work to do. Not far behind Goodman, though. If you drop back to 6th position, once we leave this onboard camera. Remember, we saw Wardlow get around Guerin. Guerin has been working hard to get around him. Sean, it looks to me like there is some push going on when these cars get stuck in the aero washes. I see drivers run down cars, get behind them, and then go nowhere.
Yeah, well, and sometimes go backwards if they fail on that attempt. And yeah, Soup, that's a condition here at this track. That's a condition with the Lotus 79. It does not perform well in dirty air, and you take the downforce off of any section of that front wing. Boy, if you don't have any downforce dialed into the rear wing, you're really going to have trouble. You're going to struggle through these turns when you're in traffic. And I think, honestly, we talk about one battle, and that's Altman and Kinsella. Kinsella has continued to hold serve there. Against Altman. Altman, who has great pace, just has nothing for him as far as an opportunity to get around.
Yeah, we talked about Guerin working on Wardlow, but I think Guerin maybe should put his attention into his rearview mirrors. You said it, Kinsella and Altman are coming. Kinsella racing in 8th, Altman in 9th. Oh, a mistake from Kinsella. He gathers it up.
He had four-wheel lock right there. That car was, man, that car was sliding.
Altman won't need to go to France on vacation because he got an eyeful of that one. My goodness, he got on the biters. Now he's going to make a move? No. Yes. No. Yes. Yes. God, I sound like Elmer Fudd and Bugs Bunny saying duck season, rabbit season. I guess to be Daffy Duck involved in that one. Give a shout out to Elmer Fudd anyway. That's Altman in 9th, Andrew Kinsella in 8th.
I honestly thought you were going to give a shout out to Daffy Duck, and you went with Elmer Fudd instead.
That's it. I went the wrong way with I work on my cartoon analogies. Hey, here's a pass for 11th. The yellow car making a move. Krahula gets around Brian Yazik.
Oh, and it might be 2 for 1 here. Oh, Yazik, got to be careful. Jaegerleiner putting on the pressure. So is James Brandt.
Take a look at this one. As Krahula in the JMK supply car does it on the outside. Get a good look at it. Saying right now, downforce, don't fail me now. Of course, these cars are not only the wings, but ground effects, right, Sean? They suck down to the track.
These are the original ground effect machines. This car comes from what they call the ground effect era in Formula One racing, and it makes a big difference, especially on a tough track like Mid-Ohio.
If you haven't checked it out, look for the Formula One. Check out the fan car. That had a big giant fan that actually sucks the car down to the track. Great idea. They said, that's nonsense. You cannot do that.
Yes.
But it was cool.
And of course, Soup, sometimes we have people join us here, want to watch a broadcast, check it out, and they're new to things. This is the Lotus 79 on the iRacing service, so don't mistake this for any old regular console game. This is the real thing. Sim racing at its best here on iRacing.
We're looking there at our leader, Alex Saunders. He has been dominant. Of course, we talked about the trouble he had in Michigan last time that allowed him not to get to the points lead yet. There is two-time Lionheart IndyCar champion Jake Wright. He is racing exclusively in the Retro Series for 2018.
Soup, I'm going to have to correct you on that. He is three-time Lionheart IndyCar champion. Yes, sir.
That seemed like too many.
Yeah.
And there's Adam Blocker, an up-and-comer for sure. I think a future champion. Maybe not this year, but he's doing his best. Let's go to 11th again. This is Krahula, and Yazik gets into him and spins it. Brian, where were you going? Sean? You tell me what the blue car was thinking here.
Thinking maybe I've got an opportunity, and got in a little hot and realized he was over his head.
Falls back to 18th. Well, right on board. I guess he thought... I'm not sure where he was trying to put the car here. Might have been a little net code. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
It might have been. And Soup, sometimes with cars getting close quarters like that, that's exactly what could happen. Might have just been an unfortunate net code moment there for Yazik. We know what kind of fighter he is, though. This race is far from over.
I think iRacing was confused just like I was when he was trying to figure out where's the blue car going. Can we go back to 15th position? This is our hotshot rookie. No, I'm not talking about Alex Saunders. This is the other guy, new to the series, Aaron Morgan. He's working on the back of Brian Beard right now. He's all over him. Samuel Ryman up ahead. Ryman's been ahead for him for quite a few laps.
Yeah, and Brian's having to work with a little bit of rear wing damage on that car. That's certainly going to hurt the downforce just a bit, but Morgan having the same problem everybody else is having, trying to make a pass when they get caught in the wash, Soup. It's just not happening yet. Best thing Morgan could do is just look for his opportunity here. Coming out of the carousel, maybe try and get a run at him. He's going to do it.
This is a passing opportunity into one if you really get a good run out of that final corner. Not going to force it. Nothing going on elsewhere. We can afford to stay on this one a little bit so we don't have to jump around quite so much. Let's watch these guys get it figured out. So now down into the keyhole. And this is where you want to get a good run, right, Sean? And then you can make a shot at it into China Beach.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we haven't seen a lot of that yet here in this race. You're going to need to be close, really close, coming out of the keyhole in order to make a run down through the speed trap there and into China Beach.
Nothing happening there. Now through the technical section. Ryman about 5 or 6 car lanes up on Beard and Morgan. Go ahead, Sean.
I was just going to say it. We've been focusing a lot on what's going on here in the top 10. Bart Workman very busy in the back of the field. He just got past Greg West. Now going to get to work on trying to go catch Bob Mikas, who is about 2.25 seconds up from him. But Workman putting in a good drive here so far. Trying to get that PSP Insurance HPP sponsored Lotus 79 towards the front. Hopefully the top 10.
Let's go to 7th position. I talked about this before. Remember that Guerin was working on the back of Wardlow, and I said maybe he needs to put his attention in his rearview mirrors. Well, have a catch Kinsella has got there. So now Guerin is doing his best to hold off Kinsella. Kinsella's car is faster, but there's a lot of cars that are faster on track, just not able to get around the car in front of them.
And Soup, we did have Aaron Morgan just get past Brian Beard, so Morgan continuing his climb. In fact, we've got a replay of it. We're going to pull it up for you right now. It's going to happen going down into the carousel. And finally that advantage, I'm sorry, going down to the keyhole, my bad. Here in the bus stop, here comes Morgan, tracking on Beard. He's going to get to the inside, out of that bus stop, and through the keyhole. Morgan's going to put that move down, and he's going to make it stick.
Got a great drive out of the keyhole. Yeah.
Who was it? It was Brian Beard. Beard goes off the track. So things just get worse for Beard. Loses the position to Morgan, and then slides off track, and now is back at 18th.
And while all that was going on, we talked about it, Andrew Kinsella, well, he was able to milk the rooster. Now, for you new viewers to GSRC, I better elaborate on that one. My dad used to say the hardest part about passing a car is like milking a rooster. The hard part starts after you catch it. He was able to get a little rooster milk here. Look at that red car. Get to the inside. Move Guerin back to 8th position, and now he's got to work. Yeah. He's got to worry about David Altman.
And really, that pass started all the way back at turn 13. Poor Guerin had a lot of trouble out of 13. That car was wicked loose, and that really set up the pass by Kinsella. But good job nonetheless by Kinsella.
Let's battle for second position. Yeah, this is Jake Wright. He's fallen off from Alex Saunders about almost 4 seconds back, as Saunders running up on some lap traffic now. But right now, the 3-time champion in the Lionheart IndyCar Series is under attack from Adam Blocker, the retro point leader.
Boy, things just got worse for Aaron Morgan, unfortunately. He's had to take a tow into the pits. He had trouble out of the chute somewhere.
He's having a good run, too. We talked about him working his way up from 17th position. Oh, not sure what happened there.
Back it up a little bit further.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it gets on top of the curb and off into the grass. And that was Krahula, I think. Krahula collected him. No, it was Scott Johnson. I'm sorry.
It was Johnson.
Confusing colors there, Sue.
That was our PSP Insurance Service Special. And he's going to need a little bit of insurance after that one.
I sure hope he's covered for that.
You know, let's take this opportunity to talk about one of our sponsors. It's a bit of a long plug to read here, but it's important because they are the sponsor of the race here. Let's go ahead. You know, we talk about PSP Insurance. They're the proud sponsor of Skidmark Motorsports. PSP Insurance Service is located in Bethesda, Minnesota. While they specialize in commercial accounting, perhaps more important to our viewers is that they also handle long-term care insurance. All you little soldiers out there in Soup's clipboard army, old age is coming, and the cost of long-term care is so great that some form of insurance is a smart idea to relieve the financial burden. Like home, car, life, health, long-term care should be the 5th face on the Mount Rushmore of insurance. The time to start planning for the future is now, so visit pspinsuranceservices.com.
Soup, I can't believe you didn't remember the name of that city. It's not Bethesda, it's Bethsaida.
Bethsaida. Oh,
Bethsaida. We don't want to get all the Poseidons upset. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's what they call them, Poseidons.
I'm beside myself for not knowing that.
Oh.
Open up to P8. Karen going the wrong way.
Yeah, Dan just doesn't seem to have it together tonight. Might have had too much focus on that, prepping for that Milwaukee race last night in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. But he is just not moving in the right direction. Obviously, down 3 spots in a 9th. Not a spot where you're seeing Dan in.
There might be some drivers still trying to finish up that race. It went on for quite a while. Let's look at Bob Mikas.
Gonna have a replay of this one. Yeah.
Oh, boy, my.
Man, things got really ugly, and 2 cars get caught up in that. Greg West and Ron Hacker in the mile 7 Lotus 79. We're going to go on board with Hacker here. 8 Ball Motorsports.
He got into it with Scott Johnson originally, and then the car got loose. And that's what caused the problem.
Well, it's brought Hacker to the pits. I see him pulling down there now. Oh, we got more trouble on track. Vincent Blumenthal off. Contact between him and Alex Saunders. The leader coming through.
Oh, no, the leader coming through lap traffic.
Now, Vince was in. Okay, I don't want to be too critical, but he was kind of in the way there. Leader's coming through, man.
He's got to put the car somewhere. He left him room on the inside. It was corner exit that Saunders got him on. You make the call on this one. It looks like the hole is there. Does Saunders drift up into the lap car? Yeah, maybe Sean might have been right. Maybe a little more room to the leader.
I think you look in your relative and you see the leaders coming through. You might want to let him have that section of the track there and just let him go back out a little bit. But that's all right. No harm, no foul. Saunders still the leader. He's still got a 2.8 second lead on Jake Wright,
who has left Adam Blocker behind. Remember, Blocker was up on him. Well, that's opened up some. The question is, Sean, did Saunders' car get any damage? On a scale of 1 to 10, these Lotus 79's pretty tough for an open-wheel car, huh?
Yeah, not bad. They can withstand a little bit of damage. Honestly, I see nothing on Saunders' car. It looks just as clean as it did when the green flag dropped. So he appears to be in good shape. Well, we'll hope there's no suspension damage. Honestly, his pace still looks fine. Jake Wright was quicker that last lap. Everybody was quicker because Saunders got slowed down because of that little incident there. Cost him.
Spidey's senses are tingling. Let's go to 7th as they come up on. Getting out of the way is Vern Hawkins. He wanted no part of that. He just pretty much pulled it over and parked it and let Altman, Kinsella, Guerin all go by. This is a great battle for 7th between these guys.
Well, it was a smart move by Vern. He knew it was at stake right there, He's last car on the lead lap right now, and hey, those guys are racing hard. He did a great job of managing that situation. Guerin, Kinsella, Altman all go on to continue to fight, but Altman is the guy with the edge right now. The next battle starts back at 11th with Galvin being chased by Brandt and Jagerliner.
Right, think about it. Kinsella got around Guerin, but what happened to that? Kinsella just let Guerin go by. Did we get a replay of that? Was this a mistake? Did he get loose or was it? Yeah, I think it was a little bit of squiggle. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Watch that Budweiser car. He lost his fizz here. Car comes out. And it just keeps going right. Right here. Whoa. So out of all those guys that have been jockeying back from position, Altman, Guerin, and Kinsella, Altman doing the best of the 3. Yeah. 35 laps to go. We're not to the pit window yet. Let's go ahead and take a look at our race analysis. We haven't had a chance to look at that, see exactly what we're doing here today. How far are we going, ladies and gentlemen? Well, we're going 53 laps. Now look at that pit window. They can go 28 laps on fuel. So you do the math, subtract 28 from 53, and you'll know when they need to come in. And then the traditional road course incidents. Of course, that race analysis brought to you by Lock Precision. Fly hard, fly safe, fly lock.
Fly big, too. Get one of those really, really big rockets that takes like 4D motors in it. And if you have any experience of flying rockets, trust me, Lock Precision, they are a cut above anybody I've ever seen, man. They've got some pretty amazing stuff. I grew up building model rockets, a little known fact about myself.
Check out their videos. The ones with the cameras are really good.
Yeah, those are cool.
The front 4 drivers all pretty much separated. Not a lot going on up there. Most of the action for the leaders is dealing with lap traffic. Maybe we'll check back in when they come up to some more.
Yeah, things have spread out a little bit on track. Kinsella just made a... Oh, trouble for Yazzie.
The blue car.
Oh, no.
Gets a little bit loose. Great job of avoiding it is Vern Hawkins.
Yeah, Hawkins did a really good job of avoiding disaster there for both of them. Yazik recovers without a scratch.
That car sits right in the middle. You're going to ride on board with Vern. He had plenty of time to get the car woed up and basically just stopped and just tiptoed his way around. I'll go left, thank you.
Good job, Vern. Good job.
Good rule of thumb, whenever you have a car perpendicular on the track, if you have an option, try to go behind them. Because a lot of times, idiots will put the car in first and go forward. So if you have an option, dumb people rarely put the car in reverse. That's just my theory. not to put Brian Yazik in that. I'm just saying the rule of thumb. Let's look at 11th. This is the Bakerfields boy, Jason Galvin. Haven't heard much from James Brandt. He's racing back there in 12th. And Travis Jagerliner, after that initial first lap trip through the Tundra, doing okay. Let's stay with this group a little bit. You can see him come up on the lap car of Robert Bluen. Boy, that's a tough place to find lap traffic. Bear claw for Robert as he gets out of the way. James Brandt on the gearbox of Jason Galvin.
I'm thinking Bluen just not really dialed in here. Got a little bit of damage on the front wing, but doing a really good job of staying out of the way and letting those guys get through as we're on board rear with Galvin. Being chased by James Brandt, looking out the gearbox. You see Brandt try to close there. Get a good run at Galvin. That's the way it's sat for several laps now, Sue.
And remember, Jagerliner qualified in 8th. He's racing a little farther back than his qualifying should put him. He had that off early on lap 1, so whoa, and he puts it off on the grass right there. He's going to lose a lot of time to Brandt. If qualifying means anything, Jagerliner should be able to get around these guys. Of course, if you can't do it on the track, you can do it in pit lane. We're still not there yet.
No, nobody on track is taking a pit stop yet.
I'm going to try to do a little math. 53 minus 28 is... no hope. There's no hope. What is that? That's 25. So we are on, is that right? 25 and 28 makes 53. Yes. So the pit window opens up at lap 15. At lap 25, sorry. Lap 25. 3 to go.
Soup, I can't bail you out. I'm not allowed to.
I don't know where the 15 came from. That was just, I don't know. But I do have it straight. We are 2 laps away from the window opening.
It does say in the GSRC handbook that you are not allowed to do any math. Brian Yazik has disconnected from the race. He's out of the car. That's a development.
Let's go ahead and look at our profile driver here today. It's Frank Beazer, who just went a lap down. Get this out of the way here before something drastic happens to him. You can see the results of him. And, of course, that's a recorded lap you're looking at that. Oh, that's nicely done, guys. I'll tell you a little bit about Frank Beazer. You can see it on there. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, Frank with 25 career starts here in the Retro Series, and that's a lot of starts. It goes all the way back to the opener in season 1 here from Homestead.
Second most all time, baby.
Yeah, and as you see there, no poles, no wins, no top 5s, no top 10s, but has competed in 25 races. So it's coming. Frank, soon, okay? Hashtag soon.
His first race was season 1 at Homestead. That's race number 1. Frank out there racing in 20th spot. Boy, our leader now working through lap traffic. He just got around Greg West and Scott Johnson. This is a good battle. These guys are a lap down now. West in 18th, Johnson in 19th. getting out of the way. He's in 20th as Beezer. He lets Jake Wright, and look at this. Adam Blocker, thanks to traffic, has caught back up on the gearbox of Wright.
Well, Wright's got cars to pass here. Gonna try and get by Scott Johnson as he heads down to China Beach. Gonna get up to Greg West. Johnson's gonna let him go. Jake finding it kind of easy here through a very tough section of the track. Now through the S's, onto the jump. And they're just gonna pull out. They're gonna pull out of the way for Jake.
Scott did a great job, but Blocker was just crushed. He caught him at the worst time. Oh, Greg West is going to let Blocker by. Let's see if Scott Johnson is going to take advantage of that. I'm not a big fan of that one. And no, sure enough, just like guys playing ball in the street, you yell car, the game stops, you let out the car go by, and now you pick it back up again. So yeah, it's West, Johnson, and Beezer, 18th, 19th, and 20th. Vern Hawkins gets out of the way. But through all of that, look at that. Jake Wright has now opened it back up on Blocker again, Sean.
He has. That's going to allow him to get to work on Alex Saunders. The pace is close. It's not close enough. But now Jake, with a little less fighting to do and a little more driving to do, maybe has a good chance to get a run at Saunders here before they set up for the pit stop, which could be coming any time now.
Hear ye, hear ye. I'm announcing the pit window is open. Saunders, Wright, Blocker, and Weaver. Let's look at Justin Weaver. He now gets to play around with these three guys. I'm talking about West, Johnson, and Beezer. Good news for Justin, Sean. He's got 8-second cushion back to Michael Goodman.
Yeah, he does. And he's got solid pace. In fact, last time around, he was fastest car at a track. So Weaver turning up the wick here as the fuel starts to burn off of that Lotus 79. We know historically with this car, as those tanks get lighter, this car speeds up significantly. And well, Weaver's starting to have a little fun in that regard and finding a little bit hard to get around Beezer right now. He's got him on the front straight, and he's going to take it into one. There you go. Finally, Weaver able to get by.
You talked about the weight of the fuel. That's one of the reasons why I think the pit window is going to be, people are going to come in at the end of the window rather than come in early. There's no reason to race around with that extra fuel. Boy, Weaver misses the apex there. Now he's coming up behind West and Johnson. West started in 23rd. He's up 5 spots. Johnson started in 20th, just up 1. There goes Justin by. 2 down, 1 to go.
You know,
Weaver, there, take it right there.
I know I've probably said this on many broadcasts, but the pit stops are really going to be at a premium here. You've got a tricky pit road entry, kind of a long pit road to get down, very slow speed. You better hit your marks, because if you miss them, you're done in this race.
Pit road is right off. In fact, we can stay on Goodman here. You'll see them come up. Let's stay on Michael Goodman till we get up to that pit entrance. You'll see it's on the outside of the carousel. Goodman makes his way around Vern Hawkins. And now he gets to the carousel, and you got to drift over to the left. In fact, Vern Hawkins is going to go in behind him.
We're on board the butt kicker onboard camera, and you see Hawkins pulling into his stop. Oh, Brandt with trouble. We missed it. That was looked like it was out of the S's actually, where Brandt started having trouble.
He was racing in 11th at the time of the spin.
Yeah, he's just I think he clipped a little bit of the curb right there. That's what it was. He clips a little bit of the curb and upset the car. So turn the rear end around. Luckily, he doesn't hit anything, but boy, it took him a long time to get going again. He'll cycle back out in 12th. James Carhula's in the pit, so's Galvin.
Jägerleiner was able to go around Brandt, but he did get out in front of Samuel Ryman.
There's Carhula pulling out now. He'll come out in, 13th?
Yeah, basically James Carhula waits for the commentators to give the pit strategy and then does exactly the opposite. That's just how he rolls. Jake Wright is also in.
Yeah, so the first of our leaders up front to come on in.
Wright comes in a package full of lapped cars. He's in there with Anzaldo and Bluen.
Now, Crahula leads all the cars up until Jake came in, and Jake is down and away, and he's off the pit lane. And Crahula is on the other side of the track right now. So there you go.
Just to give you an indication how fast the leaders were, Jake Wright comes in, makes his pit stop, 8 seconds in the box, 27 seconds cone to cone. He comes out ahead of Dustin Wardlow. He races in 5th position right now.
James Brandt is off coming into the pit. So, Soup, everybody's starting to, the dominoes are falling here.
I want to go to 17th as we're looking there at the Brandt making his pit stop. This is West. He just got around Anzaldo, and Beezer's in this mix again. Now, these are drivers on different strategies. Some guys have made their stops, some haven't. Bluen is in here, and the problem is Michael Goodman is coming up behind these guys. He's got a mess going on right now. In fact, Greg West, this is good news. West pulls off, as does Beezer. That's going to make it a little easier. Well, Goodman's going to come in as well. Weaver also pits.
There's the Moby Dickey's Lotus 79. Tennessee's own Justin Weaver. Goodman sliding into his box.
Jake Wright is already by these guys. Long gone.
See the camera zipping on down the pit road, checking everybody out. There's the Mountain Dew machine down off the Jackson on his way back out.
The real interesting stop is going to be Adam Blocker. Remember, he had been trying to run down Jake Wright. Saunders and Blocker, the two front runners that are staying out. Up, and as I say that, our leader comes in. Blocker's going to stay out and lead himself a lap. All right, Alex, you're a rookie, but you've had plenty of these races under your belt. You should be able to come in, make your stop, get out comfortably ahead of the guys you're racing. Jake Wright would be first up. Wright's a long way away, just working through the carousel right now.
Saunders didn't take any tires, Sue.
You know, that doesn't surprise me. The guys talk about how hard these tires are.
Yeah, but it's 100.
A lot of guys. Well,
it's 110 degrees on track now, though. I don't know if I like that call. I think I want tires. Oh, Greg West struggling as he let Michael Goodman get by. That was going into the carousel too. Wow, is that Jake Wright? I saw just peeled off. I think Jake's in.
Nope, Wright's already made.
I'm sorry. That's
stuff.
Travis. Yeah, you're right. Travis Jageliner. I'm sorry. Got my paint schemes. Adam Blocker on screen here. He is our leader right now, Sue, but, well, hasn't come in the pit yet.
Here's the good news.
Could be doing it here.
Nobody in front of him. He had a hot lap all to himself. He's not going to be able to get, oh my goodness, he is really pushing the envelope of pit entry. He's not going to be able to get Alex Saunders, but he wants to get Jake Wright. He couldn't get him on the track.
Saunders coming to the carousel now.
Wright about 3 seconds behind Saunders. Wright just going past pit entrance. Blocker's in his box. The car is flat, no tires. He's rolling. Blocker is out. Wright is coming. He's behind Anzaldo. It's the undercut. Performed perfectly by Adam Blocker. He moves up into second. Wright back to third. Screaming at George Anzaldo to get out of the way.
These are open cockpit cars, so that strategy might work, Sue. There we go. Jake going to be able to pull that move off now on Anzaldo as he gets through the speed trap there and down into China Beach. Jake holding on to this podium spot here after the pit stops. And, well, Adam Blocker a second and a half. Let's see if he can go get him, Sue.
Saunders not all that far ahead of Blocker right now. Blocker dives underneath. Oh, my goodness. Mark Workman says, what the heck was that? Blocker says, I got a 3-time champion on my gearbox. I got this phenom rookie that I'm trying to catch. And Blocker can see Saunders. Let's go ahead and run down your lineup right now as pit stops are done. Up in front, he's got clear track ahead of him. He sits second in the points. It's Alex Saunders. He's only just a tick under 2 seconds ahead of Adam Blocker. Blocker, 2 seconds to make up, 22 laps to do it. Just a tick under 2 seconds back is Jake Wright, making his way around Bart Workman right now. So there are no lapped cars between the front 3 drivers. Then it's a long way back, Sean, to 4th place.
Yeah, it is. A bit of a gap there. Justin Weaver holding it down, though, now. And, you know what? He's kind of got the track all to himself here, Soup. Not really being threatened from behind. He still has a 13, almost 14-second buffer back to Goodman, who sits in 5th. And that's your top 5 right now. The Candyman's still in the top 10. He's sitting back here in 6th.
Of course, Goodman coming off his first Retro Series win. First Lionheart League win last week at Michigan.
That's a big night.
6. Yeah.
That was a long time coming for Michael Goodman. I honestly, I just shocked to see that he had not won a race sooner than that. I actually thought he had. And then, of course, watched that great race that you guys called last week. And just so happy to see the fellow New Yorker get himself a win.
We got to go up front. This is heating up. Saunders has lost a lot of time. He had lost time to get around Vern Hawkins. He now gets around Brian Beard. The interval is down to 1.1 second to Blocker. The bad news for Blocker is he's got to do what Saunders has just accomplished, and that's get around these guys. Look at Vern Hawkins gets out of the way perfectly. Give him a bear claw at the next Backmarkers United meeting. Well done. Now, let's see what Brian Beard can do. Beard in 15th position. We'll continue our rundown in a minute, but let's stay on this right now. Look at Beard pull over.
I was going to say what Beard can do right now is get out of the way and let Jake go on here. Or I'm sorry, let Blocker go on.
So he is coming. It was 1.8 seconds with 22 laps. Now it's 1.2 seconds with 20 laps of racing to go.
Which, in all practicality, Soup, we still have a long way to go. I mean, it's not this race so far. I mean, when a guy like Brian Yazek can't manage to get around here and has trouble in this race early, that tells you anything is possible. And boy, right now, Jake Wright trying to find that easy opportunity to get around. And you know what? It was scary there for a moment. Brian Beard had a little bit of trouble managing the bus stop down into the keyhole, and that made it, like I said, a little scary for Jake getting by. Now he can get back to focusing on trying to chase down Blocker.
Blocker has got it for the first time with a 0 to the left of the decimal points. Now it's back to 1. He had it a tick down there at 0.9 seconds. There it is again. You can see that number. 999 is what I'm looking at. He is coming. The good news for Alexander, clear track ahead of him. He's got several acres before he gets to Samuel Ryman.
So as we sit, we still have 14 cars on the lead lap here. Sam Ryman at the end of that pack there, Soup.
Let's go ahead and continue our rundown. We left off at 6th position. Let's look at David Altman. He's in 7th. He's got about 2 seconds to get to Wardlow. He's got about 5 seconds to get to Dandy Dan Guerin. Guerin qualified 6th. He's fallen 2 positions. He's down to 8th. He's got 2.5 seconds to get to the bright yellow machine of James Krahula in the JMK supply car. Rounding out your top 10, Kinsella just puts it in the wall. That's not commentator curse. I hadn't got to him yet.
No, that was out of turn 1, and oh, hang on. I guess I picked up the wrong replay.
No, out of the S's. Yeah,
it was out of the S's. Yeah. Yeah, I caught, like I said, I picked up the wrong replay apparently there for Kinsella. But, boy, that is tough for him. Look at the damage on that left front wing now. That car's certainly not as solid as it was.
I think they call that corner Thunder Alley. And that certainly took a lot of the lightning out of Andrew Kinsella now, racing back in 11th. We'll keep an eye on Travis Jagerliner, see if he can run down the injured Havacatch. Jagerliner's got about 1.7 seconds to get there. Meanwhile, back at the ranch up front, look at that interval. It's down to 0.8 of a second now. Oh my goodness, let's stop calling seconds. Let's start calling it by car lengths. About 6 car lengths. He's coming.
Yeah, Blocker's got him in his sights. He's just trying to dial in that sight right now. Looking for the perfect shot, the perfect opportunity to get up to the lead of this race.
What do you think, Sean? Draft out of the keyhole? That's get a run down into China Beach? Do these cars suck up?
Yeah, they do, but you got to be close enough to do it. You got to be about 0.4 of a second. Oh, and you know what we do? Let's check out. Boy, Jagerliner had some big trouble just a moment ago, and I think we've got a replay of that. Let's check it out.
It was right. It was Kinsella, I think.
I'm sorry. It was the pass. Jagerliner made the pass.
Kinsella had another spin. We're going to find it here.
Yeah, here it is. And
there's Kinsella looping it. And Travis says, I'll go this way.
Yeah, boy, things really struggling there for Andrew on board with the PSP Insurance Services camera. Kinsella's going to spin right in front of him. Johnson was just a passenger there, really, and made some smart decisions to avoid that. That was a great job by Scott Johnson.
That type of driving will keep your premiums down, man. That's good.
Jagerliner continues his march, and he's got a bit of a ways to go to catch the top 10. He's in 11th now, but Jason Galvin a full 11.5 seconds up the track from him. That's going to be a tough ask here with 17 laps to go across the line.
Every time I hear you say Jagerliner, I want to get my beer stein. It just makes me want to just a little frostiness going on in that. Jagerliner back in 11th.
Yeah, I'm sure Jagerliner gets a lot of comments with that last name, so I'm sure.
What's going up? Yeah, I'm sure he does. What's going on up front? Well, my goodness, the blue car is there. We're looking off the tail of the rookie who races in second in the points. That would be Alex Saunders, looking back at the man who leads the point standings, Adam Blocker.
And you saw Saunders clattering over those curbs there and how much it upsets the car. It's, the wide wheelbase of this Lotus 79 really helps when things get a bit bumpy. In fact, we had the official Lotus 79 early in the season, the official strength of field race here on GSRC. We were at Belle Isle, and you want to talk about bumpy, man. This our director, Amjad Yaman, had to put down laps for our lap guide on that. And, it's an adventure. And this Lotus 79, very rigid machine, man. It doesn't have that nice, soft, floating suspension in it. You got to be careful when you clatter those curves. Blocker still trying to put pressure on Saunders.
If this series ever takes these cars to Belle Isle, let me see if we can get like a chiropractor as a sponsor for that race.
Yes, a chiropractic group would work well. Yes.
We've covered a lot of the field. Right now, let's take this opportunity to stay on the leaders for a while. It's the best battle out on the track. And Adam Blocker has earned the screen time as he has ran down Alex Saunders. I remember on my call, I remember Blocker. I don't think he went up for tires. I think both these guys are on old rubber. They're coming up now on Samuel Ryman, the last car on the lead lap.
Yeah, you know what? Dan Guerin, he had a little bit of trouble. Dan had some trouble there going into the jump.
Yeah. Put it into the sand, had to back it up.
It's a beach party out there, and they were calling Dan to the party. Look at that. On the binders, avoids the tire barrier. Obviously going to lose the time. You hate to have that happen.
He's got
Garen survives.
Garen's got to start worrying about the incident cap now. He's had a couple adventures. Back into 10th.
I'll tell you one driver who may really be close on incidents this evening, and that's Andrew Kinsella. Certainly, that sounds strange to say that, but he is he's had quite a few moments on track, and that might put him in a weird area there with the incidents.
We got to go up front. This is heating up. Blocker is just about, he was literally 2 car lengths behind Kinsella just a while ago, and they're coming up on some lap traffic. Oh, Ryman gets out of the way. He got out of the way so fast I didn't even realize it. Samuel, nice job. Now they're coming up on Scott Johnson. Of course, when you're the race sponsor, I don't know if you have to get out of the way. We wouldn't be racing if it wasn't for him, so got to give him a little bit of... There, he's going to back up, and the leaders go by. Blocker chomping at the bit. Wonder if it'll take a mistake from Saunders for Blocker to get around him. Next up, Frank Beezer. Sean, he's still got 14 laps to do it. That's an eternity.
Yeah, it really is, Soup, but it's not close. Hey, listen, this race isn't dragging on like maybe last night's race did, but there's still 13 quality laps of racing that have got to be put down. And, well, we've seen some drivers that we don't normally see struggle this evening, so nothing is a given here. Blocker still tracking on Saunders. I'd say at this point, Blocker is following just to play it safe and is going to wait to make his move late in this race here, Soup. That seems like the strategy that's probably going to work best for him.
Here you come, Frank. Let's see what Frank does with this one. Oh, sorry, the pass already made. I was a little bit behind. Still looking at Kinsella. Nice job, Frank, for getting out of the way.
Yeah, they're chasing James Brandt now, who has Kinsella in front of him. So more traffic ahead. Right.
This is different though. Brandt is he's in a hunt with Kinsella here. He'd like to run that down. Remember, we talked about Kinsella having a damaged car. Maybe Brandt might be able to get him. So Brandt not going to be that eager to get out of the way. He's got a mission here.
Yeah, I mean, he's fighting. He is fighting for a spot here. You know, the one thing we haven't gone back to, we haven't mentioned, a good reminder here for everybody, Alex Saunders is out there on a no tire change. Okay, he didn't take rubber on that car. So, yeah, he continues to lead, but let's think about this for a second. The tires have a good solid 42 laps on them right now. They are most definitely falling off. Track is still upwards of 111 degrees. I don't want to say that could make you mistake prone, but that certainly could present some problems as you're trying to defend against someone charging just as hard as Adam Blocker is.
I just went back to check. Adam Blocker did have the car up on the jacks. He does have new rubber.
But still not able to get around Saunders.
I've been told that the rubber doesn't matter. I would beg to differ right now. As I think Blocker's faster than Saunders once he can figure out a way.
I don't agree with that. Not over 40 plus laps. Yeah. The rubber does matter. So, yes, his tire model for the Lotus 79 is great, but it's not impervious. And this course got a lot of stopping and starting and hard turning here. The tires are falling off.
I think the testimony between Saunders and Blocker would make that point, as I think Blocker is clearly faster. Right now, this is interesting. They're coming up on a battle. We talked about it. This is Kinsella and Brandt. Brandt is a gentleman.
Yeah, fair call for him.
My goodness. Now he'll want to tuck right in behind Blocker, get up there, and wait for Kinsella to do the same thing. No! There's the mistake! There's the mistake! Alex Saunders puts it in the Mid-Ohio Alfalfa. Loses the spot.
Yep, he sent it in there too deep, man. Well, the pressure is real. So is the finish of this race in 10 laps, 10 to go. That blocker is still having a bit of a problem with that connection, though, man. It's been like that the whole race. You hope you can keep it together. Whatever is keeping that PC running and that internet connection going. Hopefully, is someone standing in the room like on one foot with some foil on their head and a coat hanger in the right hand.
Imagine a sour engine. He's out there and just hoping that the car holds together for another 10 laps.
He's running on 7 right now. He's dropped a cylinder, exactly. He's dropped a cylinder, and he's trying to bring her home to a finish.
Jake Wright sits in third. He was not able to get up to Saunders after the mistake. About 3 seconds back.
Still got Kinsella in between them, and that's going to be just really tough with now, like I said, 10 laps to go, coming up on 9. Jake's got a lot of work to do here. I just don't know if it's going to happen for the man who has the number 1 on his car.
Well, I tell you, once James Brandt let the leaders go by, he lost touch with Kinsella. Kinsella up by 4 seconds on Brandt now. That was a good battle for the last cars on the lead lap. There's only 11 of them, the last one being Travis Jägerliner. He might make it around here with 9 laps to go. He might finish on the lead lap.
Soup, we're going to pose a question to you, and I realize your rods and cones may have a little trouble with this, but
I'm good. I can do it.
Does Adam Blocker, possibly we could get Blue Blocker sunglasses as a sponsor on that car?
That would work, yes.
Yes? Okay. All right.
Okay.
Just the thought. I'm not taking all the credit for that. I'm going to give some of that to Mr. Gibbs, though. He's out there kind of feeding me a little material there, so thanks, George.
If he doesn't get that sponsorship, he may have just picked up a nickname.
Saunders, watch out. Tell you what, Blumenthal actually let Saunders get by pretty cleanly there, and he has closed things up here. It's down to a minute. I'm sorry, 1.2 seconds, Soup.
I've been there. Scanning around for a battle anywhere on the track.
No, the battle's up front. Trust me. I'm telling you, Saunders is on the way here. I really believe this. I still think there's a run left in him here, and maybe didn't get through the carousel section as quickly as he wanted to, but he was making up ground on Blocker. One mistake at 3/10 last lap. I'm telling you, Blocker makes a mistake here. It's done. It's done. Saunders will win this race. There we go. Look at that. Look at the run under the keyhole. Yeah.
And it might just not even take a mistake. It might, Robert Bluen and Travis Jägerliner here are going to be getting there pretty soon. I thought Jägerliner would be safe. Now I don't think so. Not the pace that Blocker and Saunders are running.
Well, Bluen and Jägerliner are going to definitely have a chance to earn their bear claws here. Soup, decisions to be made as the field, the leaders in this field are starting to make their way through.
Boy, they are spread out right now. The best battle is up front. So that's where we'll stay focusing on.
I mean, again, it really is. Saunders still with a legitimate chance down to 1.1.
Look at that. Yeah, he's got Bluen. I think that hurts the corner exit of Blocker there. He's not going to be all that fast.
It did. It wasn't his natural line. He had to adjust it just a bit. Now, unfortunately, Saunders got to deal with the same thing, but catches Bluen in a little bit better spot there.
Boy, he does a good job coming across the nose of Bluen to get that wide entry in. And the gap is now down to, it's floating around 1 second. So, the tables have turned. And the prey has become the pursuer.
Saunders just breaking really deep into China Beach, man. Hey, boy, if hashtag send it ever fit, that was it right there. Look at this. Woo! Saunders trying to have the drive of his life here. I'm going to be honest with you. If he can somehow pull this off and get the blocker and then miraculously find a move around him, Soup, that might be one of the biggest comebacks I've seen in a long time, man.
And maybe some of the friendliness is wearing off the tires of Blocker. Yeah, yes, he made the stop, but maybe things are leveling out a little bit.
I think you just hit the nail on the head. Things are starting to level out a little bit, and that's where Saunders has got to be right now, feeling pretty good about his chances, even though we're in 6 laps to go. That's a long 6 laps here around Mid-Ohio. Let's go back to 6th. Wardlow trying not to give it up to Altman. No, we missed that. That was actually my bad. I'm sorry about that, folks. I thought we had a battle there, and we didn't, actually. But, that's all right. Wardlow, hey, listen, Wardlow's had a great race. We haven't talked about the Candyman much, but he struggled early, Soup, and he's recovered for a 6th place right now.
He's got about 4 seconds to get up to Michael Goodwin, and he's got about 6 seconds back to David Altman. All right, our focus now is going to go to Travis Jagerliner in 11th. He is a veteran. He's racing nobody on the track. I do not expect this to be an issue. He's out of the carousel now. They're too far back for him to do anything. If he were trying to lift and get out of the way, he would be more of an obstacle right now. He's got to wait till they get up there and then do the best to get out of the way. Not much you can do right here. He's going to take the wide line. Got to be careful not to loop the car around. You get it out there in the dust, and weird things can happen. Oh, and it hurts the corner exit of Saunders.
Yeah, just a bit there. Boy, I hate to see him scuff off that speed. It's back to its second. You can't do anything.
The car's not invisible. It has to be somewhere. Yeah. So Blocker now has nothing but empty road in front of him.
And some feel we're jinxing his driver, so we should stop talking about him.
10 cars on the lead lap.
We're in trouble if Adam has any problems. So I've been warned. There may be voodoo involved, so careful. Step easy here, Soup.
Dan Guerin qualified 6th, racing in 10th right now. Maybe, can we maybe look at that? Maybe Guerin's got a chance to run up on Jason Galvin. Interval's only 1.8 seconds. We'll keep an eye on that one with 4 laps to go.
What do you think those two planned on being back there at the start of this race?
I think they planned maybe to race together. I just don't think they would be for 9th spot.
I know how competitive both of them are and how much they prepare, and yeah, I gotta imagine this is going to take a bit of an ego hit for both of them.
They race throw one more in there. Krahula in 8th too.
Well, you know what? I'm sure Krahula will be tickled with 8th because you know how it is with James. It's usually wreckers or checkers for that guy. He always finds the worst luck on track if possible, and I don't know. I think he'll be pretty happy about an 8th place finish if he can get out of here with it, with just 3 laps to go now. The fight is still going on up front, though, Sue. Not much changed. It's still right at about a second as they get out of the carousel down the front straight. Now into turn 1, head to the bus stop here. It's still a close battle. 9/10 of a second for Blocker. We're back to Saunders.
Boy, I'd be tempted if I was Saunders just to blow by the chicane and pass him that way. It's under a second now. It's closer.
Just hope nobody is watching, like the steward. Maybe the steward's lighting a smoke or something, or taking a quick look at his watch or something.
The blimp.
Yeah.
Point to the blimp and then go, hey, he's here. He's here now. It's a little bit of the accordion effect, makes it look closer than it is, but Saunders is come close. Boy, as a driver, this is when... Oh, a mistake from Saunders. Totally misses the apex. Going to cost him about 0.2 of a second.
You can't do that. You can't do that. You can do many things, but you can't do that. How do you blame the guy? I don't want to say he's overdriving. It certainly doesn't look like he's overdriving the car, but urgency kicks in, and sometimes you miss your marks a little bit, and well, that urgency winds up being your worst enemy here in the closing laps. And you find yourself now back to where you started when you started putting all this work in, and you've now only got less than 2 laps to do it.
But my goodness, he made it all back.
Yeah, he did, and he keeps doing that, but still nothing that's got him up on the gearbox. You know what I mean?
Boy, love that low-angle shot as it come by and then it pan right along. Now up.
Okay. All right. So Saunders is called into the team. He's had them run down to the marshal down by the bus stop and asked him to look at the flowers. So look at the flowers.
Well, if I've watched The Walking Dead, I know when they ask you to look at the flowers, bad things happen. Adam Blocker, only 5. He's coming.
Here he comes. 1 lap to go. Oh my, this is going to be great, Soup. Take it away.
They cross the start-finish line. They get the white flag. The gap is 0.6 of a second.
Oh, no. Yeah, Jake Wright had trouble, Soup. Oh, no. Justin Weaver. Okay, we'll get back to it. We'll go back and take a replay. But Justin Weaver just got around Jake Wright, gets up to 3rd. Jake is back to 4th. Let's go back to the lead.
Blocker continues to blink. But he holds the interval. Down into China Beach. No David Hasselhoff's here. Everybody stays on the pavement. Now through the S's. Blocker continues to flash, at least for me. The interval 0.6 of a second. Time is running out.
Tick, tick, tick.
There will not be, that's right, there will not be enough time out of the carousel for Saunders to make the move. You can see him. He can yell at him. He's 2 car lengths back, but it's a classic case of too little, too late. Round number 10 of the Lionheart Retro Series from Mid-Ohio goes to Adam Blocker.
Wow.
Saunders takes 2nd. Justin Weaver's going to get 3rd. Jake Wright is going to have to settle for 4th.
Goodman coming around. He's got the track all to himself. And, boy, it's going to be a nice top 5 for Mike Goodman. He started right there, Sue. He's able to hold serve over 125 miles here at Mid-Ohio.
Did not have to use his butt kicker product, as he was able to keep the car on the track. Dustin Wardlow, the Candyman. DeWars Candy going to come across in 6th position. David Altman, try as he might, could not get the sugar that he needed. He's going to finish in 7th. James Grahula picks up 3 spots, coming across in 8th. Dan Guerin had a great start to the race, but then gradually fell backwards. Jason Galvin limps across in 10th. We're going to get some replays here. First, we're going to look at Jake Wright, see what happened to him. He was comfortable in 3rd.
Out of turn 1, Soup, and I think that's where we're going to catch it. Well, maybe not. Yeah? No, I'm picking up the wrong replay. My bad. Watching Jake on screen here right now, and there's Weaver on the inside. Weaver just gets him, man. Weaver just put the move on him and made it stick.
If Justin Weaver actually ran down Jake Wright, I apologize. I had just inked him in at third position. So what a great run from Weaver. We'll see the pass right here.
I don't know that I see Jake really make a mistake. And he was a little bit off on the turn there to the left. Maybe he had to get out of throttle. I think that's what he had to do, is he had to get out of the throttle or he was going to get blown out into the grass there. We were able to take advantage of that. So now we've got the replay of Jason Galvin, what happened to him here in the closing lap.
Galvin, I believe, on my notes, I can't. Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
now, did he lose a spot to Guerin then on this one? I bet you he did.
Yeah,
yes, he did.
Yeah, he's going to finish 10th, Guerin 9th. That's a tough break for Galvin. Obviously pushing hard, trying to keep Dan in the mirror. And it ends in fatigue and frustration for Jason, I'm sure.
So look at that. The position swapped on the last lap there from two places. The racing's over here at Mid-Ohio, but our broadcast is far from done right now. GSRC is going to take a short break, but we'll return in a minute for the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show, where we'll run down the entire finishing order of the PSP Insurance 125, talk to some of the drivers, and give some love to our sponsors, and then put a lock on the gate. No clicking.
The Sim Pit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The Sim Pit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for The Sim Pit.
Welcome back to Mid-Ohio and the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. If you're struggling to find something for the person who has everything, I got the website for you. Plasma-tracks.com not only produces original racetrack wall art, Motorsports trophies, home decor, motorsports fabrications are also available. I could try to do it, but my words would not do justice to the uniqueness of their wares. The only way for you to fully appreciate their artwork is to see it for yourself. But I'm warning you, one visit and the next thing you know, you'll be trying to convince your spouse why you need a plasma track wall art hanging on your home. See all the plasma-track.com products if you go right there. And there is a promotional code that I do not have, but go ahead, give that promotional code. You know, I know what it is. It's Lion 2018, and you'll get 25% off your order. I've been doing this enough to know what's going on. Now, let's go ahead and give you the rundown here of the HPP finishing order. And it is Adam Blocker. My goodness. He was back in third for a long time. He snaked second position in the pit stops, and then he ran down Alex Saunders, waited and waited and waited for the mistake, got the mistake, moved up into the lead, then held him off. He gets another win. That's going to put his nearest rival in the points a little farther behind, as Saunders has to settle for second. Justin Weaver was able to get that final podium spot on the last lap as he ran down Jake Wright. Wright will have to settle for fourth. I thought third was a done deal for Jake. Michael Goodman rounds out your top 5. The back half of your top 10 and all the cars that are on the lead lap: Dustin Wardlow, David Altman, James Grahula, Dan Guerin, able to capitalize on Jason Galvin's mistake as Galvin has to settle for 10th. All right, Sean, who do you got?
Soup, I've got Travis Jaegerliner there in the number 44. Will finish 11th. 12th, going to go to Andrew Kinsella. James Brandt will pull off a decent run in 13th, actually. Sam Ryman finished 14th in the number 63. Brad Beard with a 15th place run. Bart Workman, 16th for him. George Ansaldo in the number 6 will finish 17th. Frank Beezer in 18th. 19th, Scott Johnson. Vincent Bluthenthal will finish this race in 20th. And Soup, I'll take the rest of them real quick. Robert Bluen, 21st. Vern Hawkins, 22nd. Greg West, 23rd. Brian Yazik, man, he got into some trouble, didn't recover it, got into some more trouble, and then got out of the car. So Yazik, 24th. 25th for Bob Mikas. Ron Hacker, 26th. And Aaron Morgan, our first driver out tonight, and last in the field of 27. But Soup, that was still a great race, regardless of a little bit of attrition and guys getting lapped. What a finish to that one, as Saunders really had a shot there at the end.
And even those last names that you mentioned there, Aaron Morgan, Bob Mikas, Brian Yazik, Greg West, those guys were all putting on a show until they ran into some trouble. So absolutely. Well, I have the honor of getting to talk to our race winner. He picks up another one. And of course, I'm talking about Adam Blue Blocker. Adam, congratulations on a win. My goodness, a little strategy, a little pace, and a little patience got you this one.
I'm speechless. That was one of the most incredible races. Yeah, first, I mean, I'm really proud of myself. I did a really good job that race. I kind of struggled in qualifying a little bit. Started third, and yeah, I had to be patient because realistically, at Mid-Ohio, you're not really going to be able to pass unless you find traffic or somebody makes a mistake. And so I was kind of stuck behind Jake the whole first run. I knew I was slightly faster, but not nearly fast enough to pass him at Mid-Ohio. So I just waited till the pit stops, and I was surprised he came in that early because I knew we were struggling on tire warm-up for the first couple laps. So I stayed out and put in some good times on the overcut and came in and comfortably beat him out. And I came out, to my surprise, only 1.5 seconds behind Saunders, and I just pressured him like crazy. Everything was running through my mind, can I beat him? Can I pass him? Where can I pass him? When are we going to catch traffic? And I don't know, my mind was racing the whole time, sweating, and then I just kept trying to put the maximum amount of pressure I could, break deep into China Beach every time, show him a nose, and if I get alongside him, great, but if I don't, then I'm just getting in his head, and he made a mistake. And that was enough. And then after that, I was sweating like I've never had before in a sim race. That was, oh man, because when you got Alex Saunders breathing down your neck, and it's at the end of the race, and tires starting to slide around. That's Oh man, that's crazy, but somehow I won it. So
Help this commentator understand tires. I keep hearing these things are rock hard. It doesn't matter, but you took tires. Saunders didn't. I thought you were faster. Would you agree?
yeah, I would agree. I don't know if that was because I took tires, because I knew at the end of the first stint, Saunders' pace kind of flattened out compared to Jake and I's. And I knew I was getting held up by Jake a little bit, so I don't know how much the tires actually did, but I was just kind of, it seemed to me like in this particular case, the tires were an advantage. Not all tracks it is. So, I mean, because basically what happens is the tires don't wear that much, but the thing is on worn tires, getting them to heat up, like when you heat cycle them for the first few laps, like maybe the first 5 or 10 laps, it's really bad. It can be really bad if you don't, if at certain tracks or certain conditions. I thought it was hot enough at this track, and it was an abrasive enough track where that would be a thing. But because like I think here and Barber I took tires, but then again, like last year's retro race at Barber I won because I didn't take tires. So it's like really situation dependent, and I don't even think we figured it out yet, to be honest. But
that's what makes it a great series. Hey, congratulations on the win. You got yourself a little distance between that guy who's chasing you. Not far to go. Maybe you can bring home this championship, man.
Yeah, that's the goal. It's gonna be tough, but yeah, I just want to thank first of all, Alex Saunders for the competition. It was a really great race. Him, I have so much respect for him, and that was what made this race so great, was his pace and how good he is, and how good Jake is too. And yeah, I just want to thank the admin team for putting on a good, or doing a good job in the admin booth. I know Pierre and Cordy were patient with me because I had a couple connection problems at some points, but yeah, I definitely appreciate that, and thank you guys for calling the race too.
Adam Blue Blocker, your winner today. Okay, Sean, you get to talk to our third place driver, Justin Weaver.
Third place, just barely, for Justin Weaver. Congratulations, man. That was a heck of a move you put on Jake there late. Was it a move, or did he make a little bit of a mistake? It looked like he got maybe a bit on top of the curb. Maybe he had to get out of the throttle. What did you see?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty surprising. All of a sudden, I looked at my F1 screen and saw that Jake was only about 5 seconds ahead of me. I was like, huh, well, I got a chance here to do something here, because I was even in lap times with him and catch him there a little bit. And then all of a sudden, he just kept getting bigger and bigger. I'm like, oh man, I got a chance here. We get down to it, and I had a run coming off that backstretch corner there, and I was just like, well, I'm just gonna like lick the stamp there and send it, and it kind of stuck there, and there was definitely something going on with this car, but it was cool there to sneak a podium finish there at the end of the race. I'm really thrilled about that. I needed that big time.
Now, it's my understanding, and I got this from a pretty good source, that whenever you finish on the podium, that you're buying a round of shots for everybody at Moby Dickey's. Is that true?
That might be true, and that'll be definitely the case there when we get back up to Moby Dickey's. That's for sure. I hate to see when I finally win one of these things. It's gonna be a heck of a night. That's for sure when that happens.
You might be picking up the entire tab that night. I tell you what, man, it was a lot of fun watching you run here. Tell me real quick. I always like to ask drivers about this, about certain tracks. This is one of my favorite road courses. I absolutely love watching races here. I love calling races here, and I love driving here in a multitude of different cars. What's the toughest part about this track?
Probably the middle section there after you go through that, the long straightaway there. It's just so technical, and I mean, you have to be absolutely perfect no matter what car you're running. And you just have to be perfect going through that section, through the middle, to the end of the backstretch there. It's so technical, and man, when you hit it right, it is just absolutely so much fun when you actually hit it and go through there. And it's I actually really enjoy the road course. I love racing open wheel cars here, and of course the GT cars as well. So it proved tonight that it was very well done. So
is this the first time you've ever run the circuit with that bus stop there at the end of the straightaway going into turn 2 into the keyhole?
Yeah, it actually is, because usually most of the series that run on the service there, it doesn't have that kink, and
yeah.
The first time I practiced it, I was like, why did they put this kink in here? Because it doesn't make any sense there. But once I actually started figuring out and did that, I mean, it was actually, I kind of actually like it, actually, because it has a little element to already a very, very challenging challenging road course here.
All right, Justin. So you're going to get a few weeks off here. Nice summer break for the Lionheart Retro Series. Who would you like to thank before we let you go, buddy?
You know, the guys, people at Moby Dickie's, like I said, Dickie and Gina, they're such great people, and I appreciate them letting me put their name on the car. And also like to thank my teammates, 8 Ball Motorsports, Dan, Mike, and Ron. We all 3 finished in the top 10 tonight, so a heck of a night for the guys. So
yeah, we didn't even talk about that. A great night for the team. Yeah,
there's all 3 of us in the top 10. So definitely appreciate those guys, and really proud of everybody tonight.
Well, Justin, we're proud of you, and we're happy for the folks down at Moby Dickie's. As they know, they've got some shots coming sometime here in the near future. But Soup, I think that's about all we have time for tonight. It's probably time to put a pretty bow on this and call it a night.
You know, there's a Dickie's at Moby Dickie's. I wonder if there's a Moby there too. That was if I'm ever in that area, I'm stopping in for sure.
Maybe Dickie's middle name is Moby.
There you go. All right, here's the deal. It's time for us to thank the people that make this possible. Now, Brian Yosick races in the HPP Special. He finished 24th tonight. I don't want that to reflect negatively on that fine sponsor because their equipment is really good. You know, when it's time to go sim racing, nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulations. Designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment, HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, visit hppsimulation.com. Crackers?
Butt Kicker products add instant immersion to any game. You heard me say that. Unlike a subwoofer that moves air, and, well, when it does move that air, it loses accuracy and force. Butt Kicker provides more actual mass, producing
haptic immersion. There we go.
That's powerful and accurate. Now, Butt Kicker products add that missing driver-to-car connection, bringing more realism and immersions to your sessions. See all the family of products at the Butt Kicker, thebuttkicker.com. That's the butt, B-U-T-T, 2 T's, kicker, K-I-C-K-E-R, 1 K or 2 Ks, but not 2 Ks together.com. use the promo code LION20 to get 20% off your order. Folks, spend $1,000 and you save $200. So that's good thinking right there. And Butt Kicker could help you spend $1,000.
Have you been dipping into my supply of whiskey, Chickens? Okay. And entertainment. Oh, this guy said Sim Pit. That are the entertainment channel dedicated to sim racing. It focuses on to bring you news, reviews, and information from around the world about sim racing hardware, like HPP Simulations. They might talk about that, and software. It also focuses on what it takes to be a better sim racer with instructional videos and how-tos that will help your performance on the track. Check it out at thesimpit.com. And I have more. To contact any of the sponsors you see on the screen right now, and look at all those sponsors, there's a bunch of them, go to LionheartRacingSeries.com. Click on the 2018 sponsors, read or scroll down to the bottom where you can click on the company logo. On screen now are just some of the companies and equipment that we use to make this broadcast possible. The iconic music that lets your ears alert your eyes. You're watching a GSRC Productions comes courtesy of Eric Ekholm and June Lalonde. See the screen to how to contact each of them. Crackers!
First, I want to thank everyone for having me in the chair tonight to call this Lionheart Retro Series race. I'm going out with a bang. They're taking a 4-week summer hiatus, but they do return on August 23rd for round 11. The Tower Rentals 175 from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I'm trying to talk them into open the road course. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we're going to try. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. We also have all the other broadcasts we got coming on screen. Busy weekend coming, folks. So check us out. Mark them down on your calendar. Check us out tomorrow afternoon here in the States for the AOR Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. If you'd like more information about GSRC, you can find it at our website, Global SimRacing Channel.com. Find us on social media, Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook, just type in Global SimRacing Channel, all one word, you find us. We're also on Instagram, GSRC_Graham. We've got a new Reddit account. I'm not even going to bother giving you the information. We'll let you know at a later date when we got something to offer over there. But while you're here, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to get those subs going for us. Hit that red button and you'll be right there. Thanks again, everyone tonight. Soup, there you go.
On behalf of that man you just heard, Sean Crackers Ambrose, our director Amjad Yaman, and our camera artist Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. I have this vision of all the people sitting around Moby Dickies watching the broadcast, and every time we get to the part where we have to say haptic immersion, everybody yells it out and the bartender rings the bell.
Sounds like Norm.
That's it. Thanks for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. Until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.